Hi everyone, it's Heather, and today I thought I would talk to you about wedding planning and just share some tips and hints and things that I've come across since I've been planning my own wedding, because in the movies it seems like wedding planning is this like stress-free, lovely thing where you just like wander around and taste cake and look at venues and stuff like that, but the reality can be much more stressful, which I have definitely found. I've had a few meltdowns where I've thought, oh my god, what is happening? So I thought I would just share with you some of my own tips if you're planning your own wedding. And I know that Valentine's Day has just been, so there may be some of you that have actually got engaged, so congratulations, and now the fun begins. So I basically got 10 tips that I'm going to share with you, so let's get stuck in. Tip 1 is to think about your priorities, and this was one of the first things that I did when we got engaged and I started planning the wedding, and basically sat down and thought about what was important to me and what wasn't for the day. Now that might seem like an obvious thing to do, but I thought, for example, that photos would be really important on the day, so a photographer and stuff, and we are having a photographer, but I've decided that it's not actually as important as I had first thought. I'd much rather have a nice relaxed and formal day with everybody just taking pictures if they want to. Everybody's got like a camera phone now, so that wasn't such a big priority to me. So we have got a photographer, but I decided to spend less of our budget on that particular thing and then more on something which meant more to me, which was having a nice venue. We're getting married in a marquee, actually in my auntie's garden, which is amazing because not everybody can do that, but that was really important to me, to get a nice marquee and to make it look nice for everybody that comes along to the wedding. The second tip that I've got is to use the wedding planning tools which are out there, and if you do a search on Google, or if you go onto your Apple Store or the Google Play Store and look at the amount of wedding planning apps that are available, there's tons out there, and every website which accompanies like the wedding magazines that you get, they all have wedding planning tools on them, and my advice would be to make use of them. The one that I use is called Wedding Happy, and basically it has all the different tasks on it. You can see these are the things that I have to do, and it has things like, and you can kind of complete the tasks as you go along. So there's things like I have still to research caterers, research florists, book the caterer, amongst other things, and then it goes by date, so you can see honeymoon, purchase shoes, dress fitting, invitations, and this app is one of many that are out there, but it's just one that I have been using the past little while when we've been planning our wedding, and it just kind of keeps you on track and tells you when you need to do things, which is important when you're planning a wedding, because it can just become so overwhelming. And the thing that I found was it was so overwhelming that I ended up getting absolutely nothing done. I was just going round in circles looking at tons of different things. So something like a wedding planning app like that just really focuses your thinking on one thing at a time, which I think is quite important when you're planning a wedding. My third wedding tip would be to make use of Pinterest, which is like a photo sharing website. I have mine on my tablet here, and I basically have like a wedding board already set up, which I just like pin loads of ideas on various different things. Recently it's been food because I've been looking at caterers, but invitations and stuff as well, and this is really good for inspiration. If you're just feeling a bit like, I don't know what direction to go in with my wedding, if I want to go like ultra modern, or if I want to go like more vintage, or like rustic, or you know, art deco, whatever it is, if you just have a look at there's like a wedding category on Pinterest. If you just look through all the stuff on the wedding category, you do start to pin things, and then it's when I started to pin things, I looked at my wedding board and I could see a theme emerging, which is amazing. And basically I've gone for this kind of vintagey DIY garden type theme, because I think it all fits in with the marquee and stuff. So I would definitely say get yourself on Pinterest and start pinning stuff just to get inspiration, really. My fourth wedding tip would be to delegate some of the tasks. This is something that I am like really bad at. I'm just really bad at delegating stuff. I just want to be in control of the whole thing, but it's such a huge event like getting married that really you have to delegate. That is why you have a wedding party. So you've got obviously your groom to be, your husband to be, whatever you want to call him, and you also have like your bridesmaids, best men, ushers, mother of the bride, mother of the groom. Make use of those people. I was taking on so much myself that I was becoming totally stressed out with the whole thing, and it shouldn't be a stressful day. Do you know, when you're getting married, it's a happy occasion. But it was actually my bridesmaid who said, you know, I am here, you know, we're here to help you, so let me know what I can do. If you want me to phone up caterers, or you want me to research bridesmaids' dresses, things like that. Just get people helping out and doing things. It can be like the littlest of tasks, but if it just takes a bit of the weight off, that's all good, because you really don't want to be stressed out and leading up to the big day. So my fifth wedding planning tip would be to use wedding forums. So the ones that I enjoy, I'll leave links below to the ones that I look at and the ones that I kind of contribute to now and again. But if you've ever got a question on any aspect of your day, there was something I wondered about. I can't remember what it was. It was regarding our humanist ceremony, just regarding like the wording and poems and things like that to include in the ceremony. I didn't have a clue, you know, where to look, and just searched on the forums for it, and loads of information came up. So really, if you ever thought of a question, someone has asked it before, so check out those things, and if anything, it just puts your mind at ease that you're not the only person thinking about these crazy things like, is an afternoon tea a good idea for a wedding, which is what I searched for. Barbecue ideas for a wedding, another thing I searched for. Just tons of little random questions that you think probably nobody has answered or asked before. They have, and they're on these forums, so make use of them. Chat to other brides-to-be and stuff like that, and you get a little bit of support from them as well. My sixth wedding planning tip would be to check out the websites such as Groupon, Voucher, I'm trying to think what other ones there are. You know, those kind of ones that give you the deals every day, so they have like a different thing every day. Now and again they do have like wedding deals on them, so for various things, like I saw one for a florist the other day. We actually got our photographer from a Groupon deal, and they often like have wedding venues and stuff like that. So if you're trying to save a bit of money, which let's face it, most people are when it comes to a wedding, because it can be uber expensive really quickly. So if you are trying to save a bit of money on the budget of your wedding, then that's definitely a good idea, because they tend to be at much lower prices than they would normally be. Word of caution though is that before you go ahead and book anything on Groupon, check out the vendors themselves, check out their websites, do a Google search, see if you can find out any information on, like I said, about the forums and anything like that before you actually click that pay button, because you want to make sure that they are actually what you're looking for and that the package is what you're looking for as well. So if the wedding package is for 50 guests during the day and 80 at night, and you want 70 guests and 120 at night, then obviously there's going to be an additional cost in that, so you need to work that into the deal and how much it's going to cost. But definitely worthwhile keeping an eye out for deals and things like that. And you can also get them so that they just send you an email every day, so you can just quickly check through if there's anything that is relevant, and if not, you can just delete it. My seventh wedding planning tip would be to look into doing some DIY projects for your wedding. This can be anything. Again, this is where Pinterest comes into its own, because put DIY wedding projects into Pinterest and you'll come up with thousands upon thousands of ideas. It's crazy. And one of the things that I looked at was having lots of jars at our wedding, you know, just like jars you would get jam in, or sauces, pickles, anything like that, and basically decorating them somehow to have both in the marquee and have outside as well, to somehow decorate the outside area, whether it be in the trees or things like that. So I basically put that into Pinterest and it came up with hundreds of ideas. So I'm now looking at actually painting the glasses, the jars themselves with a mixture of paint and PVA glue, and it creates this like kind of stained glass effect. And also there were tutorials on how to create like hanging jars as well, that you put little lights in, you can hang them from the trees and stuff. So there are thousands of ideas, and that is like a really inexpensive way of just making your wedding unique and having something that you've actually put a little bit of time into. And yeah, I just think it's a nice idea, really. Tip number 8 would be to do one thing at a time. As I said before, it becomes really overwhelming if you try to do more than one thing at once. You just find you're getting caught up in all these different things and nothing actually gets achieved. So what I would say is focus on doing one thing at a time. If it is florist, then if you're looking for your flowers, you're looking for a florist, basically look round for a florist, find one that you like, book it, tick it off, move on to something else. Say it's I don't know, rings, wedding rings. Look about for wedding rings, decide on it, tick it off, move on. And this is what I've been doing for the past couple of months in the wedding planning, because it is getting closer to the time now, and I find it focuses my thoughts much more, rather than just I'm always all over the place looking at 10 different things at once. It's just not very productive at all. Tip number 9 is to use social media. So what I mean by that is, if you're on Facebook or Twitter and you have like friends and family on there, and you're looking for something, like you may be looking for a band, or you're looking for a disco, or you're looking for a florist, anything like that, just ask on Facebook, because it's amazing the connections that your people on Facebook and Twitter and things like that have. So maybe if they don't know somebody, maybe they can like post that out, share it with all their friends, and you might end up getting, you know, some responses back. Yeah, I know somebody that does that, or you might want to try here or there or whatever. So you just don't know what hidden talents are lurking in your Facebook friends. So I would definitely suggest, if you're looking for something in particular, ask, put up a status and see what comes of it. And my last tip is probably the most important thing, and it is remember that it is your wedding. Now, many times I have had to remind myself of this, because you kind of get caught up on what everybody else wants or what everybody else thinks you should have. I have come across this numerous times with my wedding, with both my family, my friends, Dan's family, etc. And it's really difficult to get across that it is actually your wedding without them calling you like a bridezilla or something like that. But at the end of the day, they maybe have already had their wedding day and they had it exactly the way they wanted it, and you have to have the same for your day. So it's about just reminding them of that in a nice way, just saying thanks very much for your help, but you know, we're actually going to go down this road or that road or the other. So really you just have to be a bit assertive with people if they try and lead you down a road that you really don't want to go on, because you're only going to regret that on the day and, you know, for years to come afterwards. So it's all about having the day that you want. So there we have it. There's a few tips that I have come across while planning my own wedding. I have, let's have a look and see how many days I've got till our wedding, because you can also get these countdown timers. Here we go. I have 185 days. Can you see that? 185 days, 17 hours, 4 minutes, and 0 seconds until my wedding, and I still have tons of stuff to plan, but that's how it goes. I am the most unorganised person you've ever met. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any other tips or tricks or anything like that that you can share, please do that below, because I'm always open to different things that I might not have considered. And I'll also leave links to anything that I think is useful or helpful down below. And until next time, bye!